Hey guys, it's Melissa. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a fabulous weekend. Um, I wanted to pop in today. We are doing a screen share, so this is a little bit different, but I had a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about regarding the Autoblade. So this applies to both the Autoblade for, this is called the Autoblade Type B. It also applies to the other type Autoblade as well, the one that works with the Cameo 3 and the Portrait 2. Okay, so this one, obviously flat back auto sensor. This one is for the Cameo 4 series of machines and also the Portrait 3, but everything I'm going to tell you applies to both. So what I want to show you is on your blade, this is a little bit backwards here, you have this red line. See the little red line there? Okay, so that is telling you what blade depth you are on. The machine itself is tapping, okay? You know, it's tapping before you start cutting. When it's tapping, it's moving that red line. So it's adjusting the blade depth, okay? So what happens is the reason that this is an auto, the reason that this is called the Autoblade is not because of this sensor. The reason this is called an Autoblade is because you are in Silhouette Studio telling the software which material you are using, so like vinyl, and the blade depth is auto adjusting, okay? Now, sometimes it doesn't work. It can be because the default settings don't work, whatever the case may be. However, there's a little bit of a workaround. So let's say it's just not cutting for one reason or another, and you know that those blade settings typically work. So here's what you can do. Let's say for vinyl, we know that we want to be on a blade depth of 2. You can manually tap this bottom piece here to adjust to get to blade depth of 2. Then you can basically circumvent the auto adjusting and tell your machine, your software, not to adjust. So what you would do, put the blade, you've adjusted it, blade depth of 2, put the blade in your machine, and then I'm going to go move over to Studio, can go to Silhouette Studio, and in the Send panel, what you are going to do, I have my portrait plugged in here. So because it is automatically detecting my blade, this is for my Cameo 4, because it's automatically detecting my blade, it thinks that I'm going to use my Autoblade, which I am. However, you can see that when I have vinyl selected, the blade setting is a 1. Remember, we adjusted it to 2 because we want to cut on a 2. So what you can do to prevent it from going back to a 1 is tell it that you are cutting, okay, and change the blade to a ratchet blade, even though you still have the Autoblade in your carriage. What this does by telling it that you are using the ratchet blade is it is going to prevent your machine from tapping before you start cutting. So that is going to leave your blade setting on a blade depth of 2. So you're essentially still using the Autoblade, but you are manually setting it. Okay, so this is a little trick, a little bit of a workaround to use the Autoblade while you are manually setting it. And this sometimes happens because when the blade itself taps by itself without you adjusting it, for some reason it either doesn't tap correctly, it doesn't, whatever the case may be. But in this case, you are essentially using an Autoblade as a ratchet blade. If you are not familiar with a ratchet blade is that black blade. I don't have one near me to show you. It is that black blade that allows you to manually, or not allows you, but forces you to manually adjust it, okay? That was what we used prior to the machines that use the Autoblade, okay? So that's all you have to do if you're trying to get around some Autoblade issues. I want you to try that. If I know that my vinyl cuts better on a blade depth of 2, manually tap your blade yourself to a blade depth of 2, and then in Silhouette Studio, adjust it so that you are using cut instead of auto cut, and ratchet blade instead of Autoblade. Okay, see how it says detected? You're overriding that to prevent it from tapping and keeping it on the blade setting that you yourself have selected. Okay, all right guys, that's it for today. Hopefully that will help you a little bit. I think we have a couple of other Autoblade issue type solutions on Silhouette School. I know I have one that talks about how to use the Ratchet Blade in the Cameo 3 and all the Cameo 4. So if you're not, if you're looking for an alternative blade altogether, you can try that. The Cameo Pro does not come with the adapters. So this is, going to be one of the solutions that you can use by automatically doing it yourself. All right, you guys, I hope you have a fabulous day. I'll see you soon.